All right, this thing is on, I think. Welcome back, Friday Thoughts. Oh, it's been a minute. I'm sorry. Apologize for the last 2 weeks has been off. Just because it's been chaotic. No excuses. It's been chaotic, and I didn't make it a priority. And whatever you give your attention to and make a priority is what's going to get done. And we had weddings, we had graduation, we had a family trip, we had all kinds of good stuff. So it's good. It's good excuses, good reasons, but I definitely wanted to get back on here because I had a couple messages where people were like, hey, what's up with the Friday Thoughts? Nothing there. And I felt bad, because trying to be more consistent with it. Obviously, we've done good with Tennessee Tuesdays and whatnot. So the Friday Thoughts thing has, it's come across to a couple people, and it's been worth their while. So that's kind of cool. That means a lot to me. So that's why I'm here doing it again. So this one, so I'm a firm believer of karma. Whatever you're putting out in this world, you're going to get back. The more you give, the more you're going to receive. And it's not necessarily the same amount. It doesn't happen immediately. It's not at the same time. But I think like Andy Frisella says, like, it's almost like it's a little savings, like a little bank account, right? You're putting this little karma banking in. And eventually it's going to come back to you. It could come back to you big. It could come back to you small. You just don't know. But the good actions and the good investment, the positivity, it's all going to come back to you eventually, right? So one thing that I've seen it firsthand is at the gym. You have these barbells that are set at weights, right? And you have 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, and then you have straight bars that are weighted down as well. I always re-rack them. I'll do a set. I'll do one set of reps, and then I'll sit there and I'll re-rack the weights. And I know I have people look at me kind of like, what is he doing? Like, wow, that guy's nitty picky, or something like that. But when I'm done, they're nicely racked from lower weight to heavier weight. And it looks like they should, right? And everything's organized by weight and everything like that, right? I do it every time. Come back, it's a mess. Do it again. Like repeat it daily. Finally, the other day, I went in there and they were racked. Like perfect. Like I didn't have to touch them. Like I went right there. I knew right where my weight was. Grabbed it. Babs knew right where hers was, up on the top, because it's easier for them to grab rather than grab the heavier weights and have to replace them. It's cool. Like that kind of stuff comes back around. Now the next day I went in, it was all a mess again, and I redid them anyways. But it starts to have that trickle effect, right? That little ripple that you put out there and other people see it. And, other people will start to take pride in it. And it came to me like, when I was getting out of California, I had such a negative mindset. Like I would have never paid attention to that. And it's the little things that I've started paying attention to that have kind of shifted my mindset and made things work in my favor. So having that negative mindset, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to impress people I didn't know, all the stuff that we do a good job telling ourselves, oh man, I don't do that. Like I don't do that. I do what I want. Like we lie to ourselves. Like you absolutely do. So quit beating around the bush, quit lying to yourself because you absolutely do. So once you get past that point though, and you do actually find that courage to kind of, just do the small things. If you know something's wrong and you need to correct it, make that little shift, right? Those little positivity, those little like those right things to do. It's not being a goody two shoe or anything like that, but those little steps where something's wrong, or someone dropped trash, or someone didn't throw away their trash properly, or they left a bottle out, or just you kind of picking up after them, that's the right thing to do. Those little deposits turn into big returns. That's what I'm trying to say. So when I got out here and I reset everything, that kind of allowed me to see a whole new world, right? And I thank Tennessee for doing that because I needed it. And like on my Instagram profile, like my bio says, born in California, raised by Tennessee. Yeah, we've only been here, 3 to 4 years, but I've learned so much in these last 4 years out here. Like, and if you go back, you may have a little bit of spice if you hear that in the background. That's what's going on right now outside. It's getting a little spicy out there. If you go back, whatever my actions were 4 years ago, that's why I'm at where I'm at right now. So it's hard for somebody out here if you were born and raised in Tennessee, to kind of understand that lifestyle of impressing somebody or trying to keep up with the Joneses, because it is a laid back life back here. You do appreciate the smaller things. Like, it doesn't take much to step back and appreciate life. We get so caught up. We were so miserable or consumed by other stuff that maybe we didn't want to do or we didn't enjoy. We tried to replace it with other things that would bring us temporary happiness. And you really start to see that when you move and you realize how much junk you have that you never used. But that's why it would be hard for someone out here to not fully understand that. And being out here, you know, that's all you've ever known. You've known the laid back life. You've known to appreciate a sunrise. You know to appreciate going out, you know, if you're going deer hunting or something, just sitting there and enjoying the animals around you or the birds chirping or just the small stuff. But when all you ever know is just go, 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 because you're told that's the way it is and that's the way life is, and you just need to make money and then you could retire, and then you know there's this finish line you'll eventually get to. You get so consumed and caught up that you start to miss life. You start to miss those small things, and then your personality and your attitude towards everything, you know, it's not the best, right? Because you are trying to go, go, go and keep climbing up that ladder, and you're so consumed in it all. But when you hit reset, and whether it's, you know, moving across the country or just getting out of the town you're in, or even going on a vacation, sometimes going on a vacation is a good reset, right? You start to appreciate the journey. You start to appreciate all the little steps along the way, right? Because you realize, especially when we came out here, I've enjoyed the last 4 years. The last 4 years have been a blast. Like, I've had so much fun, and it's because I don't know what the destination is. Like, I don't know what the end game is. There is no retirement. There is no stopping. Because that destination that I used to think was there, you know, you have that corporate job, you're going to retire at 65, you cash out, you're going to be sitting on, talked about it before, sitting on a beach drinking margaritas. Like how many margaritas can you drink? Like how many days are you going to sit on the beach and drink margaritas? Like, right? It's a mirage. Like, that destination you're sold is just a mirage. And you start to appreciate the journey more, and you start to enjoy what you're doing. And you realize that you dictate where each minute goes, where each hour goes, where each day goes. And that's where, like I was saying, 4 years now is all because of the small steps that I took, you know, at the beginning of the 4 years. So actually, it's kind of hard to like sit there and think about, because it's so easy to play the victim game now. We're so accustomed to seeing people just look at the past and blame the past, and this is why this is happening, that, you know, and you're dictating it though. And I've talked about it before, you know, if somebody cuts you off, like, that's on you, the next move. Do you cut them back off? Do you go flip them off? What do you do? Or do you just say, hey, you know what, that guy's a jerk, we'll let him go? Like, you dictate each step, each minute, each hour, each day. And when I started to kind of realize that and bring that all in, I realized what I was capable of and how much I'm capable of. Like, I was selling myself short. You know, I'm told, like, oh, you don't have a college degree, you weren't going to do this. Oh, you never did this. Well, good luck doing that. You'll never own this. Like, I was selling myself short because other people were telling me that I was handicapped, or that I was selling myself short and I wasn't capable of doing A, B, C, D, right? It's funny because you're told as a kid to dream, right? You want to be an astronaut, you want to be a firefighter, you want to be whatever. Somewhere along the line, that narrative switches, and you're told you have to be realistic. You need to go get a paycheck. You need to have a retirement savings, you know, for that retirement. You know, you need to be able to afford the margaritas. But when you kind of switch back to that mindset of like, hey, like, I want to do this. Like, this is my goal. This is my dream. Like, I want to do this. You start to feel a little bit more fulfilled in life, right? And I can say I've been rewarded more in the last 4 years than in the prior 36, because it was all tied to negativity and playing the victim. And I switched that over and started looking at the small things and just investing myself in being a better person and being better day to day, minute by minute, hour by hour, picking up someone's trash, re-racking the weights, and it all comes back. Like, I truly believe it all comes back to you. And the cool thing now is I see the ripple effect. Kind of like you hear like the pebble in a pond thing where you throw the pebble in and you see all the waves go out in the pebble. I'm starting to see that now because it excites me when I hear others recognizing it too. Like, that's so rewarding to me. They say, I think it's the rising tide that raises all boats. Like, that's what gives you purpose. Like, if you feel purpose in this life, that's what it's all about. That's what I have come to find life is all about, is living for purpose and not a paycheck. And I know it's hard to explain. It's hard to convince people that. It's hard to just tell them that, you know, because we have things, we have kids, we have families, we have to put food on the table. But again, it goes back to the small steps, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day. And if this one episode gives somebody a lift or a boost, that's what it's all about. Like, if one person comes up to me, like I had someone come up to me at the gym the other day, you know, and mentioned like, hey, like, I loved your videos. Like, this is what it allowed me to do. This is why I'm here at the gym. This is, you know, if one person comes up to me and mentions this episode, that's all I need to keep going. Like, that's all I need fuel wise to keep me going. Because if one person heard it, then I know I have a purpose, right? That I'm fulfilling a purposeful life, right? I think the last episode there was like 67 downloads or 67 people, you know. And I saw a comment somewhere, which I don't really read the comments. I'm more of like a post and ghost type thing, because why? Like, the negativity, like, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm going to keep going at this point, like, doing what I'm doing. But somebody had said, yeah, you know, like, only 67, the guy thinks he's Joe Rogan or something, which is hilarious because, you know, we all know Rogan has millions of downloads and streams. But even Rogan started at some point, you know, where it was just fun and games, and he was just talking to people, and, you know, maybe he had 60, maybe he had 600, maybe he had 1,000, you know, but it eventually grew. But even those 67 people that listened to that last episode, like, do you know how many people 67 people is? Like, if you had 67 people standing in front of you right now, like, thinking about wherever you're at, if you're hearing this, if you had 67 individuals standing in front of you, that's a lot of people. 67 people is a lot of people standing there listening to you or watching you or consuming whatever you have to say, right? So that's kind of why in the videos, in these podcasts, I'm just trying to give my experience, right? Maybe one day I write a book on it. You know, people like to read. Maybe one day I write a book. But we have this technology that's so awesome, and I've had such a life-changing experience that I've just felt called to share this with people, and that's all I'm doing. So all of these little deposits that we're putting in, all these little good things, they all come back to you. And I just, you know, that's what today was. I'm just a firm believer of it. And if you want the change, you want to see it happen, start making those little deposits and those little changes now. Doesn't have to be big. It could be, but it doesn't have to be. So that's all. That's kind of what was sitting on me this whole week, just because the week's kind of been a roller coaster. You know, it's hard with the coffee and inflation and everything going on. Babs and I had a long talk on it, and it's not easy to start a company when inflation hits and, you know, people are trying to put food on their table or find baby formula and they want to buy a $13 bag of coffee. But it's cool because that's part of the whole entrepreneur learning to run a small business type of thing. Like, you're supposed to have these challenges. Nothing's a cakewalk. But I've been putting those little deposits in, same way with the company. I started leaning more on the wedding side of things with our wedding videos. and we're starting to see a good return on that. So I think we're doing really good there. So that kind of picked the week back up. So I felt good about that. But it's Friday, so I hope y'all are good. If you've got big plans this weekend, I know summer is here. It's definitely here in Tennessee. You're starting to feel it get a little bit warmer. The spice is coming in with these pop-up storms. But yeah, hope you enjoy it this weekend. Hope you have a good one. Hope all is well. Like we say in the other podcast, if there's anything y'all have for us or questions, don't be afraid to ask. Shoot us a message. That's when we'll see it. We don't always see the comments, like I said. But give us a like, give us a share, give us a review. It helps us, and helps us keep going. So we appreciate all of y'all. That is it. Enjoy your Friday. That's it from East Tennessee.